What's going on, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, Vermont economic realtor. Hope you're doing well. Redfin just released their predictions for 2023 for the 2023 housing market, and I wanted to go over that today. Talk about what they're predicting and how that can help you guys in the future. So let's get right into it. The big headline, in my opinion, is that they're predicting overall nationally home prices to fall by 4% in 2023. And there's a variety of factors that play into this number. The biggest one that we've talked about on this channel is affordability. Affordability is just at an all-time low. The people can't afford what they used to. If you could afford a $600,000 home at a 3% rate, now at a 7% rate, I mean, rates are at around 6% now, so you can afford a little bit more. But when rates were at 7%, you can only afford a $380,000 home. They're expecting that to keep demand low, which is going to cause prices to drop by around 4% nationally, which I think makes sense. I think that's fair. If you look at what markets are doing around the country, you look at markets like Las Vegas, which we've talked about a few times on this channel. There's been a few articles written about Las Vegas talking about how sellers are listing their homes for pandemic prices and they're just sitting on the market. Realtors are turning down sellers because they don't want to spend the marketing costs to market a home that's just going to sit there. Now, here in Vermont, at least in Chittenden County, we're not seeing that yet, where homes that are priced right and homes that are the best compared to the other properties on the market, they're still getting snatched up quickly. There's still a good amount of buyers, albeit a lot of buyers are priced out of the market right now and are waiting to see what's going to happen with home prices, are sitting on the sidelines. So demand is down from what it used to be, but at least around where I'm at, inventory is still so low that it's holding everything in a gridlock. And that is actually what Redfin states as well, which is something that I've been experiencing here in Vermont, and something I've talked about on this channel, is that the inventory is going to keep prices in check. Essentially, they're saying that although home buyer demand has been crushed, sellers are also crushed. They call it the lock-in effect, where people have locked in a low rate either from purchasing a home or refinancing their home over the past few years. They don't want to sell and have to purchase their next property that's potentially more expensive with this higher rate. So, fewer people are selling. And that's what Redfin is predicting. They think that home sales nationally are going to drop by between 12 and 27% overall nationally, which is a lot. And it's interesting to think about, if sales are going to decline by that much, by potentially up to 30%, but prices are only going to drop by 4% nationally. It really just says that both supply and demand are falling, that people are priced out of the market and affordability is at an all-time low, but at the same time, there's not enough homes, there's not enough housing for people who want to buy them, and there's not enough places for people who want to sell for them to go, and it's just too expensive for them to move. So I think we're going to see, I agree with Redfin. I think we're going to see inventory stay low and affordability stay low, at least until something changes in the economy and the Fed has a reason to flip their rate policy and rates can come down to a significant degree. I think, when that happens, where affordability is going to rise, obviously, because it becomes cheaper to get a mortgage, and your mortgage payment becomes cheaper. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at inventory at that point, because as we've talked about on the channel, we're not building that many homes right now. There's not that much new inventory coming to the market. So eventually, when rates do fall, I think that's going to make prices skyrocket, especially around here in Vermont. Other things that they talked about, they expect mortgage rates to drop a little bit. They have their average mortgage rate at 6.5% right now. When I just looked on New England Federal Credit Union's website, they had a rate, their lowest 30-year rate of 6.125%. So Vermont is a little bit lower than that. They expect it to drop by 0.7%. to 5.8 average across the country, a 5.8% mortgage, 30-year fix. So if that were, if we were using those numbers compared to the 6.125 that Nephew has, we'd be looking at around a 5.5%, 5.4, something along those lines, which is really interesting. Again, that would bring affordability up, which would bring more buyers to the market. It's going to be interesting to see if those sellers are going to be there, and with inventory so tight, what that's going to do to the Vermont housing market. Let's see, what else did they say here? They're predicting that rents will fall. Around Vermont, I don't know if that's going to happen. The biggest thing, okay, this is good. The biggest thing that Redfin is predicting is they are predicting that zoning regulations in cities across the US are going to soften. And this is something we've talked about on this channel as well, something that Burlington is exploring. They mention Minneapolis in the article as the first city that in 2019, they, opened up all their zoning. I think they removed all of their, single family only zoning or something along those lines, which gave builders and property owners the ability to create more multifamily units, more condos, higher, build a higher with a higher density within the city. So if you have a large lot on an acre and you're in a town with 1 acre zoning, and every single family home has to be on at least 1 acre, then you can't put another building there, or you can't subdivide or can't make a multifamily unit on that parcel. But if zoning restrictions ease up, I think that's going to be great for everybody. I've talked about that on this channel. A big problem right now across the country is affordability. With these higher rates, affordability has gone way down. There's not enough supply for people who want to buy them, which has driven these prices up. So a more relaxed zoning policy in a lot of the cities across the country that allow for housing that will be suitable for first-time home buyers and tenants who more multifamily properties that can be rented out, and give some relief to the tight rental market that we're experiencing across the country, but really here in Vermont as well. I think that will be beneficial. So those were the major points from the article. I'm going to leave the link in the description so you folks can read it for yourself and look at the graphs and the data that they're presenting. Really interesting. I mean, Redfin is an interesting company. They have a lot of data about the housing market across the country. They don't talk so much about Vermont or the Burlington market, which is part of the reason why I'm making this channel here, is to try to give insight and give statistics, bring light to what's going on locally here in Vermont and in the Chittenden County area specifically. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Vermont Economic Realtor, all my contact information is below. If you would like to purchase a home or sell a home, I would be happy to help you, whether it's here in Vermont or across the country. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.